It is Monday, April 7th, 2025, and this is an active story about the United States and Colombia relations. See me on the other side because I actually have video of the Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, and she discusses her point of view, but you'll hear the other side from Colombia, from Sarabia. Let's just jump into the story right away. Laura Sarabia rejected statements by the U.S. Secretary of State who criticized the meeting with Gustavo Petro. Kristi Noem, Donald Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security, said the president criticized the U.S. government and showed his support for the Tren de Aragua. Once again, relations between Colombia and the United States appear to be struggling. Donald Trump's Secretary of State for Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, revealed details of a meeting she had with Colombian President Gustavo Petro, in which the president's statements were not well received. President Gustavo Petro began criticizing our United States government for about half an hour, talking about how the members of the Tren de Aragua are misunderstood, who in reality were just people who needed more love and understanding. He talked about how some of the cartel members were like his friends, the United States government said in an interview with NewsMax. Consequently, the Secretary of Security intervened to clarify to the president that the United States will never agree to legalization of drugs going against Gustavo Petro's vision. This is taking into account that the Colombian president has proposed legalizing marijuana and cocaine, for example, on multiple occasions, arguing that the strategies used to end drug trafficking have failed. Likewise, he warned that cartel members would be killed regardless of whether they were friends of the president. I said that President Trump has gone after these dangerous criminals and there are consequences for them, and that if he really thought the members of the Tren de Aragua needed more love and understanding, I would send him all I could handle so he could love them more and see what he could do to rehabilitate these evil creatures, she added in an interview. However, Colombian Foreign Minister Laura Sarabia issued a statement on her X account rejecting Noem's claims, recalling that the president has been firm in his policy against drug trafficking and criminal organizations operating in the country. We categorically reject the statements made by Secretary Noem. President Petro has reiterated, both publicly and privately, his firm and unwavering commitment to the fight against drug trafficking and organized crime, the foreign minister stated. She also insisted that relations between countries must be based on sincerity and trust, and asserted that the United States government can be an ally of Colombia in its efforts to achieve peace and leave decades of violence behind. However, she clarified that achieving these objectives would only be possible if there is a genuine commitment from both parties, always supported by sincerity. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs addressed the U.S. officials' remarks, highlighting the devastation wreaked by drug trafficking, violence, and organized crime in Colombia and its actions Gustavo Petro led as a president to confront these scourges. Thanks to the work carried out during the Petro administration, 103 members of the Tren de Aragua gang were captured, including 4 leaders. Furthermore, on April 5, 2025, the 5th leader of the Clan del Golfo and leader of the armed group Aristide Mesa Pais, alias Chiramoya, was killed. His arrest was made possible thanks to the joint effort of the Colombian National Police and the United States Drug Enforcement Administration. These operations have significantly weakened the consolidation of this criminal organization in Bogota and thwarted its expansion plans. They have also impacted its expansion into other South American countries, as well as Central and North America, the Foreign Ministry asserted. So, now, I want you to hear what Kristi Noem, because she was on NewsMax, so obviously when you're on, whether it's NewsMax or Fox, or the news is broken into sides, unfortunately. I'm talking mainstream, unfortunately. So she's going to give her point of view. It's going to be totally different than what Laura Sarabia says. But let's just jump in and listen to her right away.
Even my visit to Colombia with the president there was contentious. It was a contentious discussion, but these meetings were set to be about a half hour long. The one in Colombia was probably an hour and a half. Started with him criticizing our government for about a half hour and talking. I would say that even my visit to Colombia with the president there was contentious. It was a contentious discussion, but these meetings were set to be about a half hour long. The one in Colombia was probably an hour and a half. Started with him criticizing our government for about a half hour and talking about how TDA members were misunderstood. They were really just people that needed more love and more understanding. He talked about how some of the cartel members were his friends. And so I told him clearly that, listen, we will never legalize drugs in our country. Cartel members, if they are your friends, we will kill them. President Trump has going after these dangerous criminals, and there will be consequences for it. And if he really thought TDA members needed more love and understanding, I would send him all that he could handle so that he could love them more and see what he could do to rehabilitate these evil creatures.
So there you go. You heard it from her. What do you think? I'll see you in the comments section. You are up to date with the latest news from Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to travel, but travel safe.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you go down and hit subscribe. You definitely like it. Helps that YouTube algorithm. You know what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying?
So hey girl, thanks for coming by my place.
No worries. You mind if our girlfriend can come by with us?
Hell no. This is why I watch dcbornrob.
Kini excited, dili na mag-online. Kung sabay dugayan, chika babes kay nasulan. Ay dali padulan, ako ang padulan. Karamelum-luman, dili-dili na tuluman. Ay shock tama, kalok-kaloka. Si Bona sexy, lawas murag Coca-Cola. Ang kaanyag ni mo sa akong kalibutan nga saan. Wala ko ikatubag, ikaw ra kong matawag. Murag kagabun sa kabugnaw sa taas. Sa imong paghawas, lawas ni mo labas. Sinut walay gas-gas, ako amo bas-bas.
Headed to Medellin, Colombia? See my guy Andres with Nomad Travel for safe airport pickups and drop-offs and tours. Contact information in the description below.